And we're back, and we were talking about Project One and the differences between what you're doing and some of the other organizations that are out there. And the main difference is the fact that the money that's raised goes to the cause and not to putting on the event. Mm-hmm. Big difference. Big. Huge.
We have people who are not our fans. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You mentioned that $5 million has been raised in 3 years.
3 years.
3 years of doing this.
With a staff of 3.
With a staff of 3. And 82% of that went directly to the cause. How is that possible?
Well, if you take out the idea of having to do something, to put something on a dinner, I mean, it's a simple equation. You put a dinner on, you pay for the chicken. That comes out of the donation. Well, if you want to do good, you don't need the chicken. That's a rudimentary example, but it's great to have these things in some kind of moderation where people gather together but that's not fundraising. That's not paying for safety pins and T-shirts. And a friend of mine who's a race director, a very famous race director, who's been doing this for 40 years, I asked him to budget a 5K for me, just an average charity 5K that you do, $57,000. So that means that if there were no marketing, you'd have to raise $57,000 before you were at zero. Yet these people are coming to this race thinking they're curing something,
right,
that they're helping someone.
Right. Which is something during the break again, you and I were talking about for people who are making these contributions and giving of their hard-earned money to a cause, because they're not giving it to the event.
Right.
You know, like you pointed out very clearly, you know, it's not the event that makes the money, it's the cause. Mm-hmm. The event sort of is utilized as the vehicle, but it's also extremely inefficient and expensive. So, for lack of a better term, it's kind of depressing when you think you're giving to a cause that maybe your money never even impacts.
Well, the proof is it doesn't. I mean, the statistical proof is that this is our fundamental question to people who ask about sports grants. What happened? Over $2 billion was given through grassroots fundraising, depending on where you draw the line at grassroots, because it can be smaller or larger. What happened? Did cancer get cured? Did any form of cancer get cured? Is there a tangible result? As far as I can see from the photos from Haiti, and we're going there next month to look at the ground for the orphanage, there's nothing changed. There's food and shelter, but Doctors Without Borders are still trying to build clinics, and we sent $3 billion there.
So how does this change? How do people make a difference? Let me rephrase. Why do people continue to give?
Well, see, you used the word depressing.
Yeah.
And the circumstances are depressing from that point of view, that what it's become, that a lower nature has prevailed at this point. But the higher nature is all these people are giving. They mean well, they want to help. But you have a job, you have kids, you have an enterprise. You can't devote yourself to this. So the way that you do good is you take somebody's word for it and you give your money. Well, now you have to think. And it's not, and this goes back to Buddhism 101, is look around the world. Nixon declared a war on cancer 30 plus years ago. Where are we?
Exactly.
Awareness is a huge word in philanthropy. And I don't mind saying this, it's a load of hooey, is that you're not raising money to make people aware. I've worked for a lot of organizations who say that we're creating awareness. Well, if you're not aware of homelessness, you're blind. If you're not aware of breast cancer, you're blind. So why are we spending billions of dollars that could be helping a woman who can't afford a breast exam, can't afford, here's a great example, is that Fran Drescher, who we worked with, was diagnosed with stage 4 uterine cancer, and for 4 years she went to doctors saying there's something wrong. And they would do a pap smear and say, you're fine. Well, a pap smear only covers the first third of a woman's reproductive system, and the only thing that's changed about a pap smear in 30 years is the price.
Really?
And insurance doesn't cover anything above those 2/3. So usually by the time they detect ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, which doesn't get the play that the rock star cancer, breast cancer gets, you're going to die. And I don't say that lightly, is that by the time it's progressed, because there are no outward symptoms. And it's the same with men and prostate cancer. And
so then why have we accepted this? Why have we accepted that? I mean, you even, I read, mentioned charities that have been around for 25 years. There shouldn't be charities that are around for 25 years. They should have been like what you were, or what you are doing, Project One. Take a problem, tackle it, complete it, and move
on
forward.
to a new problem.
Why do you think we accept the way this is, and that we've accepted this for years and years and years, and built almost a business around it? Does it come back to money?
Well, it's not almost a business.
Or is
when
it?
you have a 40,000 square foot building for a philanthropic organization that's not funded by a Vanderbilt or a Morgan, that's a business. When it has a parking lot and a parking attendant and security guards and HVAC, it's a business. But rather than, your question to me would only beg my opinion of it, or would be considered my opinion. Let me ask you, because you got the emails and you sent the money. Why did you do that?
Generally because I knew somebody who was impacted by it.
Right. And wanted to help.
Right. And honestly, it makes me feel good.
There you go.
But it makes me now feel kind of sick to my stomach that the good that I think I'm doing is not even making it. It's not really doing any good.
Well, you see what you've just described, a gap. There is a huge number of people here who want to do good, but are not going to form foundations. And there are huge organizations over here that are accepting their money because these people want to do good. So what if you change that system and you let these people do good without having to become experts in the field of wherever it is they want to do good in? If your father died of cancer and you want to do something about it, what if we build a hospice? We fund it through Project One, we break ground, and 12 months later there's a hospice, and it's named for your father, or it's named for Project One. You've now impacted suffering. Mm-hmm. Say it's $1 million project and you donated and you sent $1 million to Haiti. First of all, my joke about Haiti and Japan, and it's no joke about the amount of suffering, but
right.
My joke is, what did you do? Address a manila envelope to Haiti with $5 million in it?
Yeah.
Who did it go to?
Yeah.
Did you think when you texted that $10 that that every phone company has to be in on that transaction? Not just one, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Scott, I'm pleased to say we're going to continue the conversation with another show. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, you guys, and stay tuned, because we're going to have another episode with Scott Zagarino here, and continue this conversation, because it's very important stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care of each other.
Do you have a guest idea? Let us know. Go to localite.com.